okay? So I want to talk about a topic that's really important, okay? As you guys know, and let me know in the chat if you guys know Ananda Lewis and heard about what happened a few days ago, her passing away due to breast cancer. I want to definitely address that, and rest in peace to Ananda Lewis. Grew up literally watching her on MTV. I wanted to do a live highlighting her story as well, and why this applies to women that have fibroids and other reproductive health issues. Because a lot of times we don't correlate breast cancer with fibroids, or breast cancer with endometriosis, or breast cancer with ovarian cysts. And I'm here to show you that they have the same root causes, okay? That is why women that have fibroids or ovarian cysts or reproductive health issues, we gotta wake up. We have to wake up because these issues have the same root causes, okay? So we're gonna talk about it today. We're gonna talk about how fibroids, I'm not saying that you're gonna get breast cancer if you have fibroids. What I am saying is that the risk is there because you have the same root causes as somebody that has breast cancer, uterine cancer, any estrogen dominant cancer, okay? And I'm gonna break it down. I'm also gonna break down estrogen dominance because if you have fibroids, if you have endometriosis, if you have ovarian cysts, if you have even heavy bleeding, these are estrogen dominant conditions. We're gonna break down what that means so you guys can have information about that because doctors are not telling you guys this information, unfortunately. Unfortunately, a lot of women don't even know estrogen dominance, what that is, most women, right? And a lot of women have it, and a lot of women have severe estrogen dominance. So we're gonna talk about that. Thank you, Lizette, for liking the video. I appreciate you. As you guys are coming in, please like the video. I would love to know where you guys are watching from, if you don't mind, where you guys are watching from. If you're coming in from YouTube, hi and welcome, okay? I actually am now monetized on YouTube, so yay! And we also have memberships on YouTube as well, so feel free to join if you're interested. Hi, Lizette, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so I'm live on TikTok and on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. So yeah, we have memberships now. We'll be doing exclusive content for the members, okay? FYI, we have 2 tiers of memberships on YouTube. So if you guys are not on my YouTube channel, if you're watching from TikTok, be sure to click the link in my bio and also subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? Hi, welcome. Hey, Star. Welcome, watching from North Carolina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the chat where you guys are watching from before we get into this topic, because listen, we gotta talk about it because we just lost, and I did a live similar to this last year where it was another creator, a creator that again passed away due to estrogen dominant condition. Okay, so we have to do another one now. We got to do another one now because we have another prominent figure that died due to breast cancer. 1 in 8 women will get breast cancer sometime in her life, right? And women are experiencing breast cancer at earlier and earlier ages now, okay? So this is something that's really serious. Hey, YouTube. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're watching from YouTube, be sure to click the thumbs up button, okay? Now let's talk about it. Also, as you're coming in TikTok, tap on the like button. Tap on the screen. I'm sorry. I'm live on 2 different platforms. Okay, so this live again. Let's talk a little bit about Ananda Lewis before we get into how fibroids leads to things like breast cancer and other estrogen dominant conditions. Let's talk about it, okay? So in case you guys, and I want you guys to also read about her story on your own as well. She highlighted her story January 2025 in essence, right? Shout out to my client who read the article and encouraged me to read it as well. January 2025, she did a whole essence article about her journey with breast cancer. The first signs, she did they went through everything and what she did, because there's a lot of misinformation out there saying that, oh, she did natural methods and that's why, what happened to her. And that's not entirely true, but we're going to talk about that, right? We'll talk about that. But it's important if you have, like I said, if you have fibroids, if you have endometriosis, if you have ovarian cysts, if you have hormonal issues, ladies, this is important. These things, when not addressed, lead to more serious health issues. For example, breast cancer, for example, uterine cancer, for example, endometrial cancer, right? Women are, and I'm really passionate about this. My aunt passed away from breast cancer at the age of 32, many, many years ago. Very, very sad experience. Left behind 5 children. So this is real, and it's happening to women at younger and younger ages, okay? It's happening to women at younger and younger ages. So we gotta talk about it. We have to talk because it's really important, because it's a lot of women. Here's the thing, as adults, we are responsible for what we don't know and what we know. We're also responsible for what we don't know. So this information is why I had to do this live, to also educate you about estrogen dominance. Every woman and man needs to know about this, because doctors are not telling you about this, okay? And if you have fibroids, you're estrogen dominant. If you have ovarian cysts, you're estrogen dominant. If you have endometriosis, heavy bleeding, right? Perimenopause. If you have these issues, you're dealing with estrogen dominance. We're gonna break it down what exactly that is. This video is not gonna be to scare you. This is to spread awareness, okay? So share this. If you're watching from YouTube, share this video with somebody you know that also has reproductive health issues, fibroids, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, heavy bleeding, horrible cycles, okay? Share this. And if you're watching from TikTok, do the same. Share this with somebody you know that's dealing with these issues, okay? They're so important. Thank you for the likes. If you're watching from TikTok, click the like button. So what is estrogen dominance? Because like I said, if you have fibroids, if you have endometriosis, you're estrogen dominant. What is estrogen dominance? Estrogen dominance is when the ratio of estrogen and progesterone, your sex hormones, are off. They're out of balance, okay? There's too much estrogen in relation to progesterone, right? So you can have, but keep in mind, because a lot of women that have perimenopause also have women that are perimenopausal have low estrogen, right? Or imbalanced estrogen. So if you're perimenopausal, that means that your progesterone is even lower. So that's still considered estrogen dominance. Okay, I hope you're following me here, guys. Okay, so that is still considered estrogen dominance. So you may do a lab test, and let me know in the chat if you've done it, if you have fibroids, if you have PCOS, if you have cysts, and they've said your estrogen levels are normal. Because you can do a lab test, right? But it's not gonna tell you, it's not about how much estrogen you have. It's about the ratio between the progesterone and the estrogen. It's not about how much. It's about how much estrogen you have per se. It's about the ratio in your body, the ratio of progesterone and estrogen. Hopefully you guys are following me. What's the ratio, and how well is your body metabolizing estrogen? How well is your body detoxifying estrogen? There's also different types of estrogen as well, okay? So this is very important. So if we have a liver that's overloaded, which you do if you have fibroids, which you do if you have endometriosis, if you have PCOS, then your body's not gonna be metabolizing estrogen like it's supposed to. It's not gonna get rid of waste like it's supposed to. It's not gonna get rid of excess hormones like it's supposed to, okay? I need you guys to understand what I'm saying. So that is why we develop things like fibroids. This is why we develop things like ovarian cysts. This is why we develop things like endometriosis, right? It's all estrogen dominant conditions. It's just different. Is estrogen dominance, under the umbrella of estrogen dominance, there's many conditions, and I'm gonna name some. I want to, so you guys can get it, okay? Somebody said, do you have advice for nonstop bleeding? You have to address the root cause. That's estrogen dominance as well. You gotta address the root cause. You have to address the root cause. There's a full body issue, okay? And we've helped many women that's taking my courses that's been clients of mine get rid of nonstop bleeding. I had a client recently that was bleeding for 6 months. We were able to reset her cycle. She's no longer bleeding. Another client that came to me that took my 6-week womb healing experience. She was literally bleeding for 42 days nonstop. So this is unfortunately, it's more common than people think of nonstop bleeding. The most I've ever seen somebody bleed every single day was 2.5 years that came to me and worked with me. 2.5 years before she came to work with me. So it's really a huge issue with women, okay? And she didn't have fibroids, she had cysts. So let's talk about estrogen dominance. Let's name estrogen dominant conditions, okay? If you're watching from TikTok, hi, welcome. Tap the like button. I don't know why we only have 300. Come on, TikTok, can we get the likes to 1,000 before I name these conditions? Because again, this is information your doctor's not telling you. Same thing with YouTube, click the like button. My local doctors won't help. They don't take me seriously. Unfortunately, I'm located in the Netherlands. Okay, I'm so sorry, Zara. Oh man, yeah. I've heard about European doctors. They're not that much different than American doctors. American doctors are not going to do much either, except giving you medication, which do not get to the root cause of the problem. You got to get to the root cause of the issue. Okay, you have to address the gut. You got to address the liver, the reproductive organs, the lymphatic system. You got to get to the root. You got to get to the root cause of the issue, okay? That's important. You have to address these issues, right? So let's talk about estrogen dominant conditions. Can we get to 1,000 likes on TikTok? So I want you to put a 1 in the chat. If you're watching, whether you're watching from YouTube, whether you're watching from TikTok, put a 1 in the chat if you experience any of these issues. Put a 1 in the chat. Fibroids, endometriosis, adenomyosis. Put a 1 in the chat if you experience any of these issues. PCOS, ovarian cysts, allergies, autoimmune disorders, and whether it's lupus, MS, any type of autoimmune disorder, okay? Breast cancer, uterine cancer, okay? Endometrial cancer, infertility. Put a 1 in the chat if this, for the ones that's coming in, put a 1 in the chat if any of these apply to you. If you experience blood clots, okay? If you experience asthma, early onset of menstruation, if you got your first menstrual cycle before the age of 14 or 15, okay? You know, if you're dealing with perimenopause symptoms as well, if you're dealing with early menopause, which is before the age of 55, contrary to popular belief, right? Because okay, so if you're dealing with any of these issues, the root cause of this is estrogen dominance. The root cause is estrogen. I need you to know. So you see how fibroids and breast cancer got the same root cause? Fibroids and allergies. Fibroids seldomly come on their own. And you guys are when I go into the signs and symptoms of estrogen dominance, you're gonna see fibroids it's always fibroids and another health issue. Because when you have fibroids, we're dealing with waste in the body. Same thing with endometriosis, right? Your body's in a compromised state. Your hormones are out of balance, right? So what that means is that you, Zara, I need you to stay on topic, okay? We gotta listen, okay? We'll get to that, but come on, we gotta listen. I'm trying to be in flow here. I don't want to get too off topic, okay? I'll do questions and answers at the end. I really want to stay on topic for this live. This is a really important live, okay? So here's the thing. We have to get, if we're dealing, I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, when it comes to fibroids, right? When it comes to endometriosis, they're the same root causes as breast cancer. We're going to put that together. So if you have fibroids, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, and you're not getting to the roots of the issue, you're in trouble. I'm not saying you're going to get breast cancer. I'm not saying you're going to get uterine cancer or any of these cancers, but I am saying that your body is going to be in a toxic, compromised state so that we can easily get another reproductive health issue. We can easily get another estrogen dominant condition, right? That's why this is so important. It's so important. So if you have any of these signs and symptoms, these are the signs and symptoms of estrogen dominance. You guys are going to see how common it is, unfortunately, in today's society. It's okay, Zara. Put a 1 in the chat if you're dealing with any of these conditions, okay? Breast tenderness, even unless you're pregnant, right? Even when you're in your period, that's not normal. That's low progesterone. Breast tenderness or swelling of the breast, bloating or water retention. If you're dealing with fibrocystic breasts, put a 1 in the chat if this applies to you. Weight gain around the abdomen area. Low libido, mood swings. Irritability, when I say mood swings, I mean irritability, anxiety, depression, PMDD, PMS, a sluggish metabolism, cold hands and feet, cold feet, hair loss, hair thinning, irregular menstrual cycles, absent menstrual cycles, heavy bleeding on your menstrual cycle, painful periods, any type of cramps, right? Period lasting longer than 4 days, any issue with the thyroid, okay? It's hard for you to gain weight or it's hard for you to lose weight, either one. Brain fog, I have them all. Brain fog, memory loss, fatigue, okay? Insomnia, waking up, and when I say insomnia, it's hard for you to fall asleep or you're waking up in the middle of the night, okay? Skin issues, right? Vaginal dryness, blocked tubes as well, yes, blocked tubes. If you have an issue with the uterine lining, whether it's too thin or too thick, okay? So put a 1 in the chat that applies to you. Any issue with the gallbladder, headaches and migraines frequently, right? If you have fibroids, put a 1 in the chat. If you have ovarian cysts, if you have PCOS, endometriosis, adenomyosis, any type of perimenopause, okay? any type of menopausal symptoms, okay? Okay, prostate cancer, that's men, okay? But you see how, again, estrogen dominance also affects men as well. Endometrial cancer, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, cervical cancer, blood issues with the blood sugar, right? High insulin. If you pass clots during your cycle, if you're dealing with fertility issues, low ovarian reserve or diminished ovarian reserve, any issues with the ovaries, okay? That's just a few, right? That's the most common. So you see how estrogen dominance is it's like the body, like there's so many issues under the umbrella of estrogen dominance, right? So if your hormones are out of balance, right? If your hormones are out of balance, if you're dealing with estrogen dominance, and first of all, let me just say this, if you're dealing with estrogen dominance, it's not just the estrogen and progesterone that's affected. It's a series of hormones before we even get to the sex hormones. Because before you even get to the sex hormones, the cortisol and insulin have to be impacted. So if we have estrogen dominance, that means that we also have issues with cortisol and insulin. Okay. Hi, I would like to know how to get rid of my fibroids. Okay, Cetaphil, we discussed that in our courses in our program. So I have right now we have a fibroid belly eliminator bundle. Okay, for those that are interested, it's only like $111 right now. We have that bundle. If you're trying to get rid of, it helps you get rid of fibroids and also the fibroid belly. It also, we have the training on how to get rid of the fibroid belly. We have healing your hormones that's in the bundle. We also have the fibroid diet detox, right? That's also in there as well. So check that out. It won't be available forever, ladies. So if you're interested, the link is in my bio. If you're watching from YouTube, the link is in my description box for the fibroid belly eliminator bundle, okay? So you're probably wondering, why hasn't my doctor told me about estrogen dominance? Unfortunately, doctors don't dig deep enough when it comes to reproductive health, when it comes to hormonal health. They don't dig deep enough. They're about, they're about diagnosing. They're about, giving you medications, giving you surgeries. They're not about getting to the root cause of the problem. They're not about getting to the root cause of the problem. And this is why a lot of women are confused when it comes in terms of their health, right? Because doctors are not getting to the root of Western medicine is not about healing. It's about diagnosing. It's about, surgery, medications. Because you healing does not make you a lifetime customer. Let me just say that. If you heal your body, you're not going to be a lifetime customer in Western medicine, right? In conventional, the same thing. And somebody said that for the Netherlands, as well. Unfortunately, in the U.S., when it comes to the healthcare industry, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Cancer, right? Reproductive health, all of this stuff. So they profit from you staying sick, okay? Yes, I wish holistic healthcare was a regular part of healthcare. I do too, but however, holistic healthcare we're responsible for that. We can't rely on doctors for that. We can't because they're not about holistic healthcare, okay? And you know what? I realized that for those that are new, I didn't even introduce myself because guys are probably like, who the heck is this chick? Okay, Mimi, okay. Mimi, I'm not saying that fibroids all the time lead to cancer, but they can lead to cancer, okay? Just hold on, okay? For those that are new, my name is Sasha. I'm a holistic womb specialist, and what I do is I help women who have fibroids and other reproductive health issues such as endometriosis, ovarian cysts, infertility issues. I help them get to the root cause of the problem and get rid of these problems, right? From the roots. So I help women 100% get to the root cause of fibroids, shrink and dissolve their fibroids, get rid of endometriosis, get rid of cysts. I help women address the root cause. We're all about holistic healing here with natural methods, with a natural protocol, okay? I help women avoid things like surgeries and medications that do not get to the root cause of the problem, because again, these surgeries just prep you to have another surgery, right? So I help women get to the root cause, and we've helped hundreds over the years through my courses, programs, workshops, and through masterclasses, hundreds over the years shrink and dissolve their fibroids, get rid of endometriosis, our testimonials are long, okay? So I just want to say that I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for a while, okay? Been studying this for a while, okay? So Mimi, you're a nurse, and that's totally fine. you work for the system, okay? I don't know if you're in the US or what, but you work for the Western medicine, okay? So your line of thinking, what you were trained to think, is going to be different than holistic. I need you to know that, okay? I don't know if she's still here, but I just want to make that clear. So if you are not about holistic health, you know you're on the wrong life, okay? I don't want to have to boot anybody out today, but I will if I have to. So do you help with chronic womb healing? No. Holistic womb, like specialist, okay? I've been to acupuncturists, and because they never took me, they're the only ones that ever took me seriously. Well, that's good, but we still have to, you're going, okay, when it comes to fibroids and reproductive health issues, we got to get to the root cause. It's not about you going to this all of this stuff and you're just creating a bunch of confusion. And I'm not saying acupuncture is great. I'm saying it's great, but are we getting to the root cause with acupuncture? Are we getting to why the fibroids develop, why the endometriosis? We're not doing that with acupuncture, right? So we have to stop this whole, I'm looking for a fix, one thing to get rid of this problem. You have to get rid of the problem from the root cause. A lot of people don't want to do that, but that's how you heal. That's how you don't have the problem reoccur, okay? I just want to say that. So what is the breast cancer connection to fibroids? Okay, let's talk about it. So breast cancer, when it comes to specifically the estrogen receptor positive, that's the one Ananda Lewis had, right? There's the estrogen receptor positive, ER positive, and there's the progesterone receptor positive, the progesterone PR positive, right? They're directly linked to estrogen dominance activity in the body. So for the person that said that fibroids doesn't lead to cancer, listen, I'm not saying you're gonna get cancer if you have fibroids, but I am saying you're estrogen dominant when you have fibroids. So breast cancer is linked to estrogen dominant activity, okay? I need us to start reading and studying this stuff, because doctors are not gonna tell you the truth. I'm sorry. Cancer is a multi-billion-dollar industry in the US, okay? That's why if there is a cure, they will never tell you. They will never tell you. So this means that cancer cells grow and multiply in response to estrogen and progesterone, in response to hormones being out of balance. Okay? You guys need to know these. So if you're dealing with a tumor in your uterus, you can also develop a tumor anywhere else. I don't know why we don't know that. If you have a tumor in the uterus, you can develop another tumor anywhere. There's many women who've had fibroids and then later on develop brain tumor. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not saying that's going to be you. But if you don't get to the root cause of the problem, the risk is there. The risk is there. Okay? The risk is there. So in Ananda, in her own words, she revealed that her tumor was ER/PR positive, right? Which means that her cancer thrived in an estrogen dominant environment. It thrived. This is why and if you read her story in Essence magazine, she was off and on with treatment over a span of a number of years, and she mixed holistic or integrative. She did integrative treatments, which is she mixed, natural with the conventional. Thank you so much for the gift. Thank you. She mixed both. Hey, Jessica. Yes, getting to the root cause is so important. Yes. And here's the thing. Women who are out, hey, Sunny Goddess, hey, welcome. Thank you so much for the gift. Women that are not invested in getting to the root cause of the problem, they will forever be looking for symptom relief. For the rest of their life, they'll be looking for relief for their symptoms. They'll be running from here, to this doctor, to this holistic person, to this holistic. You have to stop, like I said, running from getting to the root cause of the problem. You have to stop running from that. You have to stop running from that, okay? You got to stop running I'm going to keep saying it, right? This is important. We're talking about cancer here. Somebody just died, right? And many women have died from breast cancer. It's killing Black women like crazy. And Black women under the age of 40, like they're developing breast cancer and other estrogen dominant cancers at very high rates. And it's not just Black women either. So listen, we have to get on board and stop playing around with our health. A lot of women are playing around with their health, right? And maybe it's because due to misinformation, right? But once you know, you got to do better. And one thing too, I'm not saying this to blame Ananda or anything like that. I'm not saying, but I'm saying this as a teaching moment. Also too, when she was off and on with her treatments, she said in between that she was going through a breakup with her son's father, and that, so stress, she was also dealing with, she was a single mother, so she was dealing with a lot of stress as well, trying to, you know, trying to work and things like that, right? Because we think that just because we see people on TV that they're rich, that's not the truth, right? So she still had to work, right, and provide for her son. So she couldn't afford, she lost her insurance at one point. So all of these things like happen, right? But people are just kind of they're saying, promoting it as, oh well, she just did natural treatments, that's why she died. That's not true. That you guys gotta read. Y'all gotta read. Dense breast is hormonal imbalance, ladies. Absolutely. That's common in women. Yeah, that's rapidly growing in women, dense breast. Yeah, that's so. And one thing about Ananda Lewis too, over 10 years ago when she was breastfeeding her son, she had inflammation in her breast. She had a what do they call it, mastitis, when she was breastfeeding. So it kept happening in the right breast. So those were the first signs, and that's a hormonal issue. That's hormonal issue. That's inflammation, right? So when you're having issues like that, stress can cause so many, illnesses. Absolutely. Oh yeah, definitely. You got to get to the root cause of the problem. Stress on its own doesn't usually cause it. It causes, because what tends to happen is that, especially with women with fibroids or even cancer and things like that, it was there. The hormonal imbalances were there, but you ignored it. But then the stress just like I said, it causes the condition to actually develop and thrive in the body. Stress will do that. Yeah, stress kills, right? Stress kills. So it's important. You have to take care of it. You cannot, like I said, neglect yourself. Too many women neglect themselves physically, energetically, right? She admitted putting things on the back burner in the middle of her journey because life happened, right? You can't do that. You cannot do that. You can't slip. You cannot slip. Your health is the most important thing at everything. And a lot of people put their work before their health. They'll put everything, their relationship before their health. They'll put everything before their health. You can't do that. You can't. How society is today, you can't afford to do that. You just can't. That's why self-care matters. Absolutely. See, a lot of people say that, but very few people are actually living by that. Very few. And self-care is not just getting your hair done and nails done. It's not that. It's physical, it's emotional, it's mental, right? So if you're a people pleaser, you're not you can just throw self-care out the window. You failed in self-care. Okay? It's important. Black women, yeah. And it's not just black women, because I work with women all over the world. It's women all over, black women especially though, I'm not gonna lie, neglect their health. I don't know why. I say it's a lack of self-love, because when we know better, we have to do better. We have to do better, okay? But it's not just black women. A lot of women are neglecting their health, and it's sad. So breast cancer is not rare, as you guys already know. You can get breast cancer even if you don't have a history of it in your family, in case you guys don't know. So over 70% of women that have breast cancer is the estrogen receptor plus. Positive, whatever they call it, right? And many women that have this issue, that have breast cancer, they have a history of fibroids, they have a history of endometriosis. Like, start asking women that have uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, breast cancer, they have a history of heavy bleeding, irregular periods, right? They have a history of ovarian cysts. They have this history. So you see what I'm saying? The same root cause. So if you don't address it, what's gonna happen? What could be your future? What could be if you refuse to address it? And addressing it is not surgery, because you're still estrogen dominant if you have the surgery. You're still estrogen dominant if you have the surgery. You still have the hormonal imbalances. You still have the waste in your body. You still have the congested lymphatic system. So surgery is not the answer. You gotta go. You gotta get to the root cause of the problem. Okay. You gotta get to the root of the issue. Okay. So I talked about these are all, so fibroids, all of these ovarian cysts, the heavy bleeding, right? Somebody said they had nonstop bleeding, irregular periods, the PCOS. These are all thyroid issues, right? Autoimmune disorders. They're all symptoms of estrogen dominance, right? It has many expressions. under the umbrella of estrogen dominance, there's so many different issues. There's so many different health issues, right? So you have to get serious. You have to get serious. I want to share a book with you guys to read more about estrogen dominance, right? Because it's important for you guys to know what it is, because here's the thing, your doctor's not going to tell you about it. Your doctor's not going to explain it to you, right? What is this book called? Estrogen Dominance by Dr. Michael Lamb. Okay, really good book. Do I agree with every single thing in here? No, but read it to know what's going on with your body. Okay, now does he go into the emotional thing? Not really, but he does address stress in here and things like that. But it's a good book, Estrogen Dominance, because you have to know what it is. You can't be walking around with fibroids and endometriosis and ovarian cysts and heavy bleeding and not understanding what estrogen dominance is, and saying, "Oh, my estrogen levels are normal." No, they're not. Like, come on now. And you know what this story, Ananda Lewis story, also should teach you? It should also, of course, this is why I'm tired. I'm getting sick of TikTok, because they've always restricting my life, because we talk about the truth over here, and I don't censor myself, okay? This is why nervous system regulation is so important as well. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. And they all, like I said, everything's connected. Everything's connected, right? Everything's connected. So if you have all of these health issues, of course your nervous system is going to be dysregulated, right? If you have heavy bleeding, if you got fibroids, if you have all of this stuff, you have to get to the root cause of the issue. You have to address this stuff, and no, surgery is not the answer. A lot of you guys have done that and still have the fibroids. What are we doing here? So if you have a fibroids, if you have endo, if you have a ovarian cyst or heavy bleeding, this is your wake-up call. You got to wake up, okay? You have to wake up. You have to wake up. You cannot continuously, like I said, go on about life suffering, and also too suppressing your symptoms, right? Looking for acupuncture, looking for supplement. You stop trying to suppress your symptoms. You will spend a lifetime chasing your symptoms. You got to get to the root of what is causing these issues. You have to get to the root of them, or you will be forever chasing your symptoms like a mad woman. Is that what you want? Or do you want to get to the root cause of the problem and solve the issue? Okay? We have to stop, like I said, we got to stop playing around with our health and take it seriously. I'm tired of hearing more and more black women, more and more women dying of breast cancer. How do you get to the root cause of the issue? That's a great question. So we got to get to the root of, so are we talking about estrogen dominance? There's many different ways, right? If you're dealing with estrogen dominance, you're dealing with imbalanced hormones in general. So you have to address, number one, you have to address the cortisol and insulin. You have to address the waste in your body. It's a full lifestyle change. Full lifestyle change. And maybe I'll do a masterclass on that very soon on estrogen dominance. So if you guys need to be on the email list. I also want you guys, I have a free complimentary download, if you haven't downloaded it yet, called The 7 Foundations of Womb Healing. It's the key areas you need to focus on if you are trying to be fibroid free, if you're trying to be free from endometriosis, if you're trying to have a healthy womb and a healthy cycle. You need to download the 7 Foundations of Womb Healing. If you're watching from TikTok, the link is in my bio. If you're watching from YouTube, the link is in my description box, okay? She's telling the truth, ladies. I work with her. Yes, it's truly a lifestyle change. Yes, and Jessica is killing it. Living her best life. Womb healing is so powerful. And not just physically, but also energetically and emotionally. And I'm so proud of Jessica. She's killing it, okay? Killing it. So it's our testimonials, my testimonials are long, okay? I'm talking about women, again, just recently, a woman got rid of 13 fibroids, added 15, only has 2 more left. Another woman went from 6 months of bleeding to resetting her cycle, okay? After bleeding nonstop for 6 months, another woman, 42 days of bleeding. She came into my 6-week program, my 6-week womb healing experience. By week 2 or 3, bleeding stopped after 42 days of bleeding. Can I work with you from the Netherlands? Absolutely. I have clients in London. I got clients in Australia. I literally have clients in Canada. Yes. My services are global. Absolutely. So Zara, for you, I would recommend my 6-week womb healing experience. Okay, we are taking clients for that program right now. That's for women that want to work with me for 6 weeks to get to the root cause of the problem, to get rid of these issues, to how do I register? The link is in my bio. How do you register for what? Exactly. But if you want to register for anything, the link is in my bio, okay? If you want to register for the 6-week womb healing experience, okay? Again, so for women that are serious about working with me, okay? This is for women that want to be fibroid free, want to be free of estrogen dominance, okay? That also want to restore their hormonal balance, okay? That also want to get to the root cause of these issues, right? And a lot of women have blind spots when it comes to their a lot of women have blind spots when it comes to their health, right? When it comes to their daily practices, because a lot of times your lifestyle is setting you up to fail. A lot of times. So we have to look at everything. We can't it's not about you just taking a supplement or a herb and everything's solved. That's not health. That's not health. Where do I find your bio? On my page. I only hear that question on TikTok. I find it very interesting. Go to my page, go to the bio, okay? The top of the page, you'll see the bio. Okay, if you don't know, you gotta Google it. Google where the bio is on TikTok. All right, you're welcome, Zara. You're welcome, Zara. Come on, we have to, like I said, we gotta get out of the looking for one thing to help us. Do you have payment plans? I do. If you're let me know for which one you're interested in. We do. We also have Klarna, Afterpay, and what is that other one? Affirm as well. So we do the buy now, pay later. If you go to the if you check out, you'll see those options. Okay, and we do have payment plans as well for the 6-week womb healing experience. We do. It's $1,500 or 2 payments of $775. So yeah, unless you use like Klarna or anything like that. All right, so it's important. Anybody have questions? Thank you so much for the gifts, honey. Somebody was asking questions earlier. You guys ask questions, okay? Thank you for the gifts. If you guys have a question, because this is important. A nurse said earlier, oh, fibroids leads to cancer. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm not saying 100% that you're going to get cancer if you have fibroids. Let me just make that very clear. But the risk factor is higher. There's somebody that does not have these issues. It's higher. It's higher. I didn't know they can lead to cancer. Mine have been shrinking naturally. I didn't even know. You didn't know they can. Okay, so maybe I worded it wrong. The risk is there. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. However, and I was saying earlier, Amelia, I don't know if you were here, I was explaining earlier how when you have fibroids, you're dealing with estrogen dominance, right? The same root causes as breast cancer. So it's not even just cancer, also other autoimmune disorders. The risk is there because when you have fibroids, your body's in a compromised state. We're dealing with a lymphatic system. And if you guys know anything about the lymphatic system, I mean, once the lymph nodes are congested and things like that, the risk of cancer goes higher, but that's a whole other conversation. They don't want you to know that. That's why the doctors don't talk about the lymphatic system, okay? That means that so if you have fibroids, the lymphatic system is congested. We have a backed up digestive system. We have overloaded liver. Kidneys not filtering the way they're supposed to. The colon is overloaded. So it's your elimination organs are, like I said, are overloaded, right? That's how your body keeps out waste. So we have to support our organs in actually dispelling waste. So it's not keeping the waste in. But if you have fibroids, endometriosis, heavy bleeding, right? Your body's keeping waste in. Okay, that's a huge red flag. That's why I did a video not too long ago where I was saying fibroids is a red flag. It's a red flag. Take it as a red flag. Do not, like I said, sleep on it. Okay. Again, I have a free download for those that are just coming in called the 7 Foundations of Womb Healing. Okay. If you have fibroids, we also have a course that I just put out called the Fibroid Belly Eliminator Bundle. Okay. Very amazing course for women that have fibroids. So if you have the fibroid belly, or if you have just fibroids and you want to get to the root cause of the problem and you're trying to get rid of the fibroids, that's a self-study course that you can go through on your own. It's only $111 right now. Okay. Is it true that fibroids shrinks as you approach menopause? No, it does not. Many women, let me talk about it. And I had somebody comment, say this in one of my comments not too long ago. She was in her 70s dealing with fibroids and they were large. Many women, as a matter of fact, a lot of my clientele are, not all, but there's a portion of my clientele that's postmenopausal women. They have huge fibroids. Understand this, when you're estrogen dominant, they tell women that fibroids, once you, of course, when you go through menopause, your estrogen levels decrease. However, when you're estrogen dominant, they decrease, but that progesterone plummets. So the ratio is still off and your body's not metabolizing and detoxifying estrogen appropriately. So that's still estrogen dominance. So as a matter of fact, no. As a matter of fact, when you're perimenopausal and menopausal, it can trigger your fibroids to grow more. Yes. It's like I said, it's a lot of women are suffering. There's women in their 60s, 70s dealing with large fibroids. Okay, is it then advisable? And you guys can ask me questions on YouTube as well. Be sure if you're on YouTube to click the like button. So working with you one-on-one, can you help us absolutely not be estrogen dominant? Absolutely. Every client that works with me is, like I said, restores hormonal balance. Every client that works with me, yes, we get to the root cause of estrogen dominant. That's a must. That's a must. Because here's the thing. If you're estrogen dominant, your body is in a toxic state. So if you change your diet and it's not about, if you change your diet and do more exercise, you'll get to a healthy weight, but that doesn't have much to do with estrogen dominance. Yes, and here's the thing, when you say change your diet, and I did a live about this, right? A lot of people don't know, okay, so if you're talking about changing your diet, right? Of course, diet matters when it comes to these issues, of course. However, unfortunately, when people change their diet, they think it's healthy. It's healthy according to American standards, but it's not a womb healing diet. So there's a difference between what Americans would consider a healthy diet and a womb healing diet. There's a difference. Exercise does not have much to do with it, but it is good to exercise. Please exercise, okay? So if we're just looking at diet and exercise, a lot of women ask me that I eat good and I exercise and I still have fibroids and I still have these issues. You're scratching the surface. It's an entire lifestyle change, okay? Lifestyle is not just diet and exercise. It's not, ladies, it's not, okay? It's not, all right? Any other questions? Any other questions? And if you're watching from TikTok, definitely get on my YouTube channel. We are now monetized on YouTube. Hey, yay, finally. I finally put the thing in to be monetized. I'm also have memberships. Now you can join memberships on YouTube. So I'll be doing special content and more in-depth content for members, okay? The surgery question has been answered. What's the surgery question? Is it then advisable to go for surgery? No. If shrinkage is not guaranteed, no. Shrinkage is guaranteed. Okay, here's the thing. This is why you should not have surgery for fibroids. They will grow right back. You're not addressing the root cause. You're still estrogen. When you have surgery for fibroid, you're estrogen dominant. All the root causes are still there. All the underlying causes are still there. Your body is still in a toxic state. So why would you then have surgery for fibroids? It doesn't make any sense, right? Unless you just want to grow back the fibroids again, because that's what women do that's had surgery for fibroids. How many women have had one surgery to get rid of fibroids and still have fibroids? 2 surgeries to get rid of fibroids and still have fibroids? 3 surgeries to get rid of fibroids and still have fibroids? So many. No, you still have you're still estrogen dominant. The underlying causes are still there, right? If you are serious about your health, you're going to get to the root cause of the problem. Shrinkage is guaranteed if you know what you're doing. As a matter of fact, total fibroid elimination is guaranteed if you know what you're doing. If you get to the root cause of the problem, if you follow the correct protocol, absolutely. If you get to the root of, listen, when you have fibroids, your body is in a toxic state, right? Your body is in a stress and inflamed state. Your body can completely, like I said, your body can completely dissolve a fibroid. I know you guys don't believe that. I don't know why, but it has to be in a healthy state. Your body, when it comes to foreign growths, you have to get your body in a state where it's like foreign growths cannot thrive. Okay, then they'll start to shrink and die off. But that has to happen. I want to do the 6-week course. Okay, if you want to do the 6-week womb healing experience, you can sign up. Click the link is in my bio. Go ahead and sign up. I believe it's possible. It's possible. I have another live visibility restriction. It's okay. TikTok, count your days. If you're following me on TikTok and you enjoy this content, you need to be also subscribed to my YouTube channel, because TikTok count your days. Because I'm not going to I don't have time for this. How I'm struggling. What do you mean, Renee? Can you ask me a complete question? I'm not sure what you're saying. Also, you guys can ask questions, by the way. Also, if you have a hysterectomy, the hormonal imbalance comes in another form. Thank you, Crystal. The hormonal imbalance comes, okay, in another form. My sister got a hysterectomy back in 2024 due to fibroids. Y'all listen to this. I'm on YouTube now reading the comment section, okay? She still has hormonal imbalance. And ladies, the hormonal balance, when you take out your uterus, it gets worse. You guys have to stop settling for these conventional methods, right? Why would you want to rip out your feminine center, your uterus? Do you understand how powerful the womb is on an energetics level, right? On a physical level. So when you rip that out, women that have had hysterectomies, they're dealing with emotional issues, hormonal issues. They're so much more at high risk for all of these more serious heart issues, cancers, all of these issues, right? So why are we resorting to taking out our uterus? That's wild. Okay, same problems that I have been telling you about, nothing changed. Have you addressed these problems, Renee? Have you addressed the physical and the emotional, okay, root causes of fibroids and the energetic root causes, okay? I am more worried about the aftermath of surgery. The risk is crazy. Okay, well, we doing something wrong, Renee. We doing something wrong. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's what they don't tell you when it comes to like getting rid of the fibroids, right? If you have surgery to like myomectomy, these issues, here's what they don't tell you is that these surgeries, when you cut into the uterus, cause uterine scarring. So a lot of women are coming to me who have had surgery also with fibroids again, and then uterine scarring. Okay, so you see what I mean? So it's just not worth it to continue to cut into your uterus. Okay, honey, it's the use of certain words. It's very sensitive. Use, delete, don't lose your account. It's hard for me to censor myself. It's hard for me to censor myself. But what words is it that I'm using that they don't like? You know, TikTok used to be the app where you could kind of say what you want to say, right? Now they're changing. I can't stand TikTok anymore. We may have to, oh, okay. I'll try not to say, okay. I'll try not to say that. I'll try, but I don't know. What's your opinion on wild yam cream? It's still not getting to the root cause of the problem. It's still you looking for one thing to get rid of fibroids. That's not going to happen, right? I'm not saying don't use it, right? I'm not saying don't use it. However, because I'm all about natural methods, but here's the thing. You still have to address the root cause. That's not addressing the root cause. You can use it along with addressing the root cause and healing the body. Okay? But we have to, like I said, we still have to do the work. It's not going to be in one thing. Because people always ask me, what about this supplement? It's not going to get rid of the fibroids, right? There's so many women that come to me that have been literally for years going from one remedy to another. Whether it's wild yam cream, whether it's castor oil, whether it's this, whether it's that. Do you know how many women have told me that? I'm like, you did not address the root cause of the problem. That's why the fibroids are still there. They've literally just gone, and it drives them crazy. It literally, because they tell you on TikTok, on YouTube, oh, here's this one thing that gets rid of fibroids. I don't lie to people. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that. You gotta get to the root cause of the problem, right? We have to address all areas. We gotta address all areas. So I know what I'm saying is not popular, but it's the truth, okay? It's the truth. So it's important. You gotta address the root cause of the problem. All right. So I really wanted to speak on this topic because, again, the Ananda Lewis story, a lot of people were affected by that because if you grew up in the U.S. or even outside of the U.S., I'm sure she was a TV host, used to be very popular on MTV. She's very known, right? So her passing away due to breast cancer was a shock, right? But here's the thing. When we hear stories like this, we have to, like I said, make changes. It has to encourage us to start making radical changes in our lives. You cannot continue. And I want women that have fibroids, because I speak to women that have fibroids and endometriosis and other reproductive health conditions, right? Hormonal issues. I want them to know that, listen, I don't want this to be you. Because if we have these issues and we don't get to the root cause of the problem, it's very possible that yes, our risk for breast cancer is going to be higher, right? These are estrogen dominant cancers. If you have fibroids, you're estrogen dominant. So you cannot play around with your health. A lot of you guys have children. A lot of you guys, you want to have children. There's so much in the world you want to do. I don't want breast cancer taking somebody else out. I just don't. I don't. Okay? I don't. I became pescatarian, cut out dairy, sugar, soda, alcohol, caffeine. Okay, well, that's a start, but we have to have a womb healing diet, okay? A womb healing diet. Pescatarian is not a womb healing diet. Medicine repairs one and damages the other. It does. It does. And when it comes to repairing one, do they really repair one? That's up for debate. So it does. And don't even get me started on chemo, because then they'll really shut my TikTok down when they get me started on chemo and what it does to the body. But we'll leave that alone. But just know that cancer is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they profit off you getting cancer and chemo. Okay, in the U.S., it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Good. Could you give me an example of the root cause? I'm trying to understand better. So I just used the whole live, Zara, in talking about estrogen dominance. That's a root cause. You can also go to the link. If you go to my YouTube channel, you're going to see videos where I address the root causes as well. Okay. So yeah, we've had videos, so many videos on that. And when I usually do videos on the root causes, it's usually very low views. I find out very interesting. But then every video when I'm talking about something else, I get tons of questions about root causes. I don't get it. I'm like, I have so many videos on my YouTube channel, hundreds. No, it's just that English is not. That's okay. That's okay. No problem. No problem. I understand. I mean, you speak great English to me, so I'm trying to understand better. I get it. It's the way you're living your lifestyle, right? Now, we can start off with emotional root causes. A lot of women that keep a lot of trauma inside. They haven't processed their trauma, like when it comes to heartbreaks, right? When it comes to unmet needs, when it comes to unfulfilled desires, right? Holding that in the body on an energetic level. Then we can talk about the physical root causes, right? The hormonal imbalances, right? The toxins in the body. It's a lot. The diet, right? It's a woman that has neglected herself. That's the root. If you really look at it, it's a woman that has neglected herself. Neglecting yourself can look many different ways, from suppressing your trauma to whether it's with you, like I said, just overworking yourself, whether it's with you, eating all of these unhealthy foods, whether it's with you going from toxic relationship to toxic relationship and putting those relationships above yourself. It looks many different. There's different layers to it. Okay. Let me know if you guys would like a whole masterclass on the root causes of fibroids. Maybe I have to do that one, okay? Like you said, fibroids is not just hormonal balance, but also emotional trauma. Absolutely emotional. Yeah. Sasha, I'll be teaching therapy this Wednesday due to the recent death of my father. I'm so sorry. I'll be starting therapy this Wednesday due to the recent death of my father and childhood trauma. I'm so sorry about your father. I'm so sorry about that. I'm sending my condolences to you and your family, but I'm happy that you're starting therapy. That's good. Masterclass will be great. Okay, good. You guys stay on the email list, okay? Stay on the email list. What I just paid for will. What did you just get? Hold on. Cetaphil, what did you just get? Would it be my email? Yeah, it should be in your email. Did you just get the Fibroid Belly Eliminator? Because if you did, it should be in your email. Let me know. Let me know. Okay? Let me know. Masterclass will be good. Yeah, okay. So get on my email list if you want that masterclass. Okay, you just got she just got the Fibroid Belly Eliminator bundle. Yeah, go to your email, go to spam. If it's not in your inbox, it should be in your spam box. If you don't see it, email me, okay? But also too, yeah, I forgot to mention, I do have if you guys want to know where to start, have you ever had fibroids before? Yeah. Humble, so I have my whole fibroid story. I had it twice. I had my whole fibroid story on YouTube. That's why you guys gotta get on my YouTube channel as well. It's on YouTube. I recorded it and posted it December 2023. It's there. Okay, my whole fibroid story is there. Okay, absolutely. So if you are dealing with fibroids and you don't know where to start, you don't know how to get to the root cause of the problem, you want to know how to get rid of your fibroids, especially if you have a fibroid belly. You need to get the Fibroid Belly Eliminator bundle. It is only $111. Okay, I made it that price for a reason, because I want more women to be able to get it. And there's just no excuses at this point. So if you're interested in that, grab that bundle. It's not going to be $111 for long, okay? There was a woman not so long ago that got rid of 13 fibroids from one of my courses. There was a woman that got rid of a fibroid, she had an enlarged uterus to the point where she looked 9 months pregnant due to fibroids. If you go on my TikTok, if you go on the pin post, I literally have her picture there. And if you scroll on my TikTok, I have her video testimonial. She went from, in 1 month in my 6-week womb healing experience, she went from literally looking, 9 months pregnant due to fibroids, to literally dissolving her fibroid belly and dissolving her fibroids. And she's still doing amazing, right? Had another client, just found out she shrunk. She worked with me earlier this year in my 2-month intensive, found out that she shrunk all 3 of her fibroids, right? Had another client, she said that her uterus shrunk 21% because, again, it was enlarged due to fibroid, and her fibroid shrunk significantly as well. So we had testimonial after testimonial after testimonial after testimonial. And here's the thing that I found out when it comes to working with women over the years, right? And women that have inboxed me, women that have been on my live streams. A lot of women think that their womb is broken beyond repair. Let me say that again. A lot of women think that their situation is so bad that they just, like I said, there's nothing they can do to fix it but have surgery. And that's not true. We've literally had women that had from 20 centimeter fibroids to women that were bleeding nonstop for 6 months to like these women I had another woman who had fibroids, endometriosis, and adenomyosis, and scar tissue due to previous surgery that she had. So listen, I've heard it all. So it's not about your womb being broken beyond repair. It's not about your issues are so bad. It's about, no, you have to support your body in healing. You got to support, your womb is talking to you. So all that heavy bleeding, all those fibroid, all that pain, all of that, the fibroid belly, it's your womb talking to you, letting you know you have to support you got to support your body and getting rid of, these things will get louder. These symptoms get louder and louder and louder because it's trying to get your attention. Okay. I also want to show you a book where, and this is going to really blow your mind. And this is where they may take down the live really take down the live on TikTok. I just got this book, right? Cancer is not a disease. It's a symptom. Okay. It's a symptom as well. I know a lot, and it's by 𝐼𝐨𝐬𝐧𝐞. I'm excited about reading this book. Okay. I'm reading another book after this. After that book, I'm gonna dive into this. Okay. So here's the thing. It's a symptom. Just like fibroids is a symptom of deeper issues going on in the body. Okay. And we don't look at it as such. We look at it as these conditions as they're the worst, but we don't look at the underlying causes. You got to look at the underlying cause of what's causing these conditions to thrive. What caused these conditions to develop? Do I have to do an ultrasound to find out if I have fibroids? Not necessarily. MRIs, CAT scans, sonogram, things like that as well. You don't necessarily have to do an ultrasound. But if you're having bleeding like that, I'm not necessarily saying that you have fibroids, but we do, we're definitely estrogen dominant, right? We're definitely estrogen dominant. But when the beauty of it is that when you're working on healing from estrogen dominance, if you did have fibroids, it will also be shrinking as well, right? Because we'll be addressing the root cause. Okay. Yes, really heavy bleeding. Okay, so yeah, we got to do something soon. We got, like I said, we have to. And when we have, I'm not trying to rush anybody, but here's the thing. I did a video about a woman that had a 32 centimeter fibroid. Okay, I don't know, did I post that yet? I didn't post that yet, but I did that. You'll see it very soon. She had a 32 centimeter fibroid and a 17 centimeter fibroid. We got to stop waiting until things get so bad. We got to stop waiting until we've been bleeding for months and months and months nonstop. We have to stop waiting until our fibroids get over 20 centimeters before we do something. We have to stop waiting. We have to stop waiting. We have to stop. That's outrageous to wait that long, right? Now, for some women, they don't know what they don't know. Maybe they're just discovering my platform and the fact that they can shrink and dissolve their fibroids naturally. But I encourage women that are not at that point yet. Your fibroid ain't 20 centimeters yet. You know, your symptoms are not that bad yet. Do something now. As a matter of fact, Ananda Lewis, if you read her Essence article, the Essence magazine highlighted her in their article in their magazine, January 2025. If you read that article, it's literally entitled "Prevention is the Real Cure." Prevention is the real cure. Okay, so we have to stop dealing with things when they get so bad. When we've had signs. If you had fibroids, you had signs that your hormones were out of balance. You had signs. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I didn't have signs." You did have signs. You just didn't know that they were signs, unfortunately. Right? This is why I'm always saying, you know, things like if you're bleeding more than 4 days, that's a red flag. If you are dealing with cramps, brown bleeding, a lot of times your menstrual cycle will show you what's going on. I gotta go, but thank you so much for your knowledge. I'm gonna look into purchasing your course. You're so welcome. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Anybody else have any questions before we go? I know I haven't been live in a while. Okay, and my live streams are not gonna be as often as they used to be, but I wanted to do a live on this topic. Okay, and if you want to know when I'm going live, make sure that you get on the email list. I have a free complimentary guide, again, called The 7 Foundations of Womb Healing. If you haven't downloaded that yet, it's free. Go ahead and download it. The link is in my bio if you're watching from TikTok. If you are watching from YouTube, the link is in my description box. Okay. What I just purchased, is it something that I just read? No. So it'll be videos. I think there's also a meal plan in there, the fibroid detox. So it's going to be a series of like videos and yeah, it's trainings. Okay. So be sure to start. And when you guys purchase these courses, you guys start ASAP with making the changes. Don't say, some people purchase the courses, they just let it sit in their inbox for months before they actually apply it. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. See, if you're working with me in a program, I don't let you do that. You can't do that if you're working with me in a program. We're starting now, right? So in my 6-week womb healing experience, it's open if you want to work with me. The link is in my bio for more information if you want to register, and the link is in my description box if you're watching from YouTube. Any other questions real quick before I go? Okay? Real quick before I go. Any other questions? Any other questions? Again, I will have some upcoming master classes, or one. I'll try to figure out which topic I want to go in depth on very soon. So if you want to get on the email list if you're not on the email list already. Okay, so no. Okay. All right, ladies. Again, if you're watching from TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is now monetized. Yay! So you can purchase the memberships, and I'll definitely be doing something special for my members when I have a certain number of members. All right. Love you guys. Have a great one. YouTube. Okay. Have a good one. Click the like button. Share this video with somebody that you know. This information can save a life. Okay. This knowledge can save a life. So share this video with somebody that you know. All right, ladies. Have a good one. Goodbye. Bye, you.